Welcome to the State of the Market with knowledgeable realtor Scott Zaino. Sit back and relax as Scott lifts the curtain on Cape Cod's real estate stats. Buckle up and let's dive in. This is your monthly State of the Market report.
Hello and welcome back to another State of the Market for the end of July 2025. These monthly State of Markets are all about knowing your numbers, right? Whether you're building a house, buying a car, getting insurance quotes, buying a house, selling a house. It's really important to know your numbers. And so we do these monthly State of the Markets for you guys so you know your numbers and you know where you stand, right? So if you're a seller or a buyer, or you're just curious and you want to know what the market's doing, this video is for you. So we're going to jump right into our different sectors, which are like our vitals for the real estate business, right? It's like going to get a health checkup, right? Get your blood checked, your height, your weight, and all that. So we bring you these 6 sectors pretty much every month, and it gives you a really good idea of what's happening in the market. So let's jump right on into the sectors. Let me hit my share screen real quick. All right. So the first sector is the average sales price. So let's see here. The last number for the end of July was the average sales price here on Cape Cod from Plymouth to P-Town was 1,054,000. So we broke the million mark again. In June, it was 997. So there was an increase there about $57,000 just in one month. I should predict that this number is most likely going to just keep going up over time, just because there's very little new construction and there's very little land to build on. Unlike other parts of the country that have plenty of land and plenty of houses, we are still in a shortage. All right, so we just broke 1,054,000 for our average sales price. If you go into your active listings, right, this tells us how many active listings are on the market. For the end of July, it was 1,053. Is that a lot or a little? Well, last month in June, it was 1,125. And so our inventory reduced by about 70 properties. I'll go back 5 years to COVID just to give you a quick idea. Right about there, March of 2020. We all remember it well, right? We had 2,000 units, 1,990 units. And then you can see right after COVID came, it took a few months, and then inventory was really down to nothing, right? 3, 4, 5, 600 units. The lowest, I think, was right here, February of 22, with only 370 units. Imagine that. Today we're at 1,053. So it's getting better, but it's still about half of the inventory that we had before COVID. All right, let's get into your days on market. So end of July, it was 45 days on market average. Some are selling over the weekend still with multiple offers, and some are taking longer. For June, it was 42. So we had a little uptick there of about 3 days. I'd just call that a wash pretty much. So days on market ended up being an end of July of 45. Okay. Months of supply. So we've talked about this before. So the industry standard has been, if there's 4 months of inventory or less, it's a seller's market. If it's 5 months of inventory, it's more of a balanced market, right? And if it's 5 months or more, it's a buyer's market. And we have been in a seller's market for 5 years. The last time it was even close to 5 months was right before COVID at 4.8 months. Today, we're at 3.6 months of inventory. So what that means is if no other houses came on the market, we would run out of inventory in 3.6 months and the shelves would be bare. Okay. People put houses on the market and then they get sold. People put houses on the market, they get sold. So that number goes up and down. At the end of the month, you got 3.6 months of inventory, which is still a seller's market. However, just because it's a seller's market does not mean that there's not some fantastic deals out there because I have seen them. I have um, shared them with my clients and we put offers in and we bought them. So there's plenty of good offers out there. You just need to keep looking all the resources, turn over those rocks, stay in touch with your agent, go look at some of these properties and shape them, buy them, shape them, fix them, and then make them your own, right? Because most of them need a little bit of something. Some of them need $100,000, $200,000 worth of work. Um, but there are some great deals out there. And that was my point that I wanted to drive home that just because it's a seller's market doesn't mean that they are controlling, how you purchase and where you purchase, because there's some great deals out there. Um, Percentage of list to sales price ratio right here. So 98 for the end of July. Excuse me. For the end of June, it was 98.5. So that dropped a 0.5%. At the end of the day, if you list your house for $1 million, according to the stats, you will get 980. Now, can you get more? Yes, I've seen more. Can you get less? Yes, I've seen less. Can you get asking? Yes. The average is about 98%. All right. So think about that when you list your house. How much am I going to put in my pocket after all the fees, right? So the 98 is what you'll end up selling the property for, but then you have to deduct all your fees, right? All right. So 98 in July, that was 98 and a half in June. That dropped a half a point. Um, and so there we have the sectors. I'm going to go ahead and just change my screen. Hello. Let's talk about interest rates. A lot of talk about interest rates. My personal opinion is we need to get it, 5.9, and I think everybody will be happy. 6.7, 7%, is not bad. However, with the price of the properties going up over the years, it's nicer to have a little bit less interest rate. And anything that the Fed does is a help, right? So I would like to see them at 5.5, 5.7, maybe 5.99. What are your thoughts, right? Um, every little bit helps and it changes your payment that much less. And so I want to talk about interest rates. The end of July, a 30-year fixed was 6.7, which was about the same as last month. 15-year fixed, 5.8. Now that's lower because the term is lower and the bank's risk is less, right? 5.8. 30-year Federal Housing Administration, 6.4. Those are the government-backed loans, which there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out with Federal Housing Administration soon. They're going to be making some changes to their programs and guidelines, and it's going to be a better program than what it is now. But that's going to take a little time to get into play. 30-year Veterans Administration is 6.4, same as FHA. And then 30-year jumbo finance, 750, 800,000 or so, somewhere in that bracket. You're looking at 6.75. Now, tip. How do I save money on my mortgage, Scott? Okay. So if you took, say, this is a $350,000 loan, and let's say it was at 6% interest, and your payment's about $2,100 a month. if you make one extra payment, you can go from a 30-year mortgage to a 25-year mortgage by making one extra payment. You'll also save about $90,000 on your interest. So if you end up buying a house and you're very comfortable with all the bills and everything that comes with it, and you can manage to scrape up an extra payment, I know it's right around Christmas, but if you can manage to scrape up one extra payment, give that to the bank and put principal only, you can reduce your 30-year mortgage to 25, and you can save almost $100,000. So that's my tip for the day. I would hope that everybody would be able to cash in on that and save some money if you're I got the ability to do so. So just wanted to say thank you again for all your cards, emails, texts, and things of that nature. And thank you all of our followers who watch our videos every month. We couldn't do it without you, so we thank you for that, right? And we just love doing these videos for you. It keeps us on our toes and it keeps our finger and thumb right on the pulse of the market. And we share that information with you so that you can enjoy that information as well and know, where you stand in the market. And if you're thinking about selling, by all means, or buying, please give us a call at 508-566-0051. Shoot me an email at sjzano@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.